What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Bedlam. My name is Splattercat. Happy to have you here today as we hang out for a while. And actually playing a little bit of catch-up right now. Playing a little bit of catch-up. Not playing in some catch-up, though, because that would be incredibly messy and I don't want to screw up my desk. As the crew explores the area, they discover a path burrowed into the ground. The surface is scorched as if some kind of otherworldly craft once landed here. At the end of the path, almost entirely buried in the terrain, is a vessel of unknown origin. It seems entirely intact despite likely being here for ages. The surface of the vessel is very smooth with no apparent damage or entry points. The hull suddenly begins to emit a peculiar humming noise as the crew approaches. Let's cut on in. The crew's fusion torches are unable to even leave a mark on the vessel's alloy casing, nor does a barrage from their weapons. It seems clear that the crew will not be entering the vessel with the tools at hand. The crew leaves the craft behind and returns to the dozer. Okay. Definitely not a winner. As the crew is exploring, they encounter a caravan of human nomads traveling across the dunes. A hippopotamus is towing a trailer loaded with scrap and power cells, while another beast drags a cart filled with decapitated heads and severed hands of mutants. Let's approach them. Oi, fellow travelers, fabbing to see others out in the big chaos for plunder. Interested in haggle? We have power if you have the right prices. I can't afford to drop any meat right now, so he wants us to trade meat for power cells, but I'm not really that into it. You know, I would really prefer not to be in mutant territory right now. Mutants are nasty on the back end of the game. As the dozer travels along the road, your instruments suddenly detect a major radiation leak in one of the engine compartments. The external vents to release a dangerous toxic byproduct are damaged and will need to be repaired manually. The pressure will eventually rise and cause catastrophic end to the dozer. There may be someone among your crew that could withstand the radiation, or you might have to volunteer some passengers for the task. It could also be possible to reroute the venting through one of the meat storage areas. We'll send in some passengers. We got plenty of those. Surprisingly, a number of passengers step forward to willingly risk their lives for the benefit of everybody on board. After a long, intense period, the radiation is released outside and the levels return to normal, but the brave volunteers experience a horrible death from their exposure to the toxic leak. The technicians are able to safely enter the affected chamber and repair the breach, and the dozer continues down the road. Well, that'll save us on our meat expenditures, so I'm okay with that. We're going to have to take some random events here. We don't have much of a choice, so let's keep an eye on it and see what goes down here. As the crew explores the strange environment, they come across a headless mutant corpse. Judging by the footprints in the trail of green blood, the mutant's evolved physiology allowed it to wander for quite some distance, even after decapitation. The trail of blood and footprints eventually leads to a mutant settlement. Strewn about the area are the bodies of a dozen mutants in pools of green blood. There are no signs of a firefight, so the mutants must have been unarmed at the time of the slaughter. No survivors are found. The mutants are all missing their hands, and some have even had their heads removed. Well, that was probably the trader that came by, right? It is known that some human Bedlam residents despise mutants to such an extent that they consider their severed heads and hands to be a valued form of currency. This bloodbath would seem to be evidence of that. The nearby pen are several groats, several small, plump creatures raised for livestock by mutants. The groats were shot and left for dead during the massacre. The crew decides not to let the meat go to waste and returns to the dozer with the supply, along with the question of who is responsible for the carnage. That's good. It's not much, but it's something. I mean, it offsets us a little bit. While exploring the area, the crew encounters a man driving a strange fusion-powered crawler across the dunes. As the crew approaches, the vehicle stops and the operator climbs from the cab to regard them. Judging from his appearance, he is one of Bedlam's bod-mod surgeons that specialize in performing cybernetic enhancements. Greets to you, travelers. Perhaps our crossing paths could be advantageous. My fusion batteries are nearly frazzed. If you could provide a small quantity, it would prolong my journey. I could offer a selection from my fine wares in exchange. Murder him! As soon as the crew aims the weapon, the surgeon activates a high-yield blitzer screen to protect himself. Duplicitous draggers, may King Viscera strip your bones and fashion them into ornaments for his armor. He leaves. Man, he's got a super awesome shield. Bastard. Alright, let's keep on trucking. We need fuel before we can move on, so until we find it, I don't think we're going anywhere. While exploring the strange environment, the crew discovers a mass of undulating purple vines rising from cracks in the ground. The thick mutated vegetation has grown around the entire frame of the large rusting transport vehicle. On the side is the faded logo that reads Fearton Fusion Company, and near the base of the vines are two mangled corpses that clearly have multiple broken bones, likely from being constricted. We shoot the vines. The crew's advanced weaponry isn't enough to damage the resilient mutant plant life. The thick tendrils angrily lash out at the crew, but do not relinquish their grasp on the ancient vehicle. We leave them behind. Damn. Bad luck after bad luck. I don't know if I want to do... Actually, maybe. We'll do a rare spawn right here, although it takes us to a weird spot. Salty old scuzzer taught Abe the ways of the guns and gonna show you unlucky morts how well Abe done learned. Okay, we can bring back Biv, which is pretty cool. I don't have a problem with Biv. We'll bring him back on in. And we shall go. I need the materials out here really badly anyway, so I'm not even gonna stress about it. Hopefully there's gas on the field, and if there isn't, we got a problem. Alright, everybody. Weapons hot for us. Let's set them apart on each other, shall we? Skyshine! Enjoy, assholes. Enjoy. So while we are here, I'm going to try and move for this square right here and hope that we can get the cells and the fuel before anything else goes wrong. Also feed Biv a couple of kills maybe along the way. Sounds good to moi. He's the only one still functioning over here. Should be able to move in right here and grab the fuel and then waste one of these guys. Although I might try to... Actually, let's just grab the fuel, whatever. Go ahead and get rid of the guy that's dealing the most damage. I'm going to point out that this does leave me very distended here, so... I'm kind of overextended in a way that I do not like to be. How much HP does he have? Tenors? Okay. Let's move him forward just in case. Actually, how far can he move? Far enough to be a problem. Scoot back. Cool. That's going to wear off in just a minute, though, so... Now, it's going to be his turn to push into enemy territory and try to get something out of here. I'll put him in cover. Maybe he'll duck it. Oh, it wore off. Okay. Problematic, but not necessarily something that I can't deal with. Not a bad fight. Man, cover never works for me. Cover never works for me. I'll tell you what, man. Worst luck on earth, and we're probably going to lose him to Abe on the next turn. Because Abe's movement is actually... Ooh, he's actually got me jammed up pretty good. That's a decent move right there. A decent move. I'm going to move back slightly and hope that I can stay out of Abe's wrath real quick. We're probably going to lose Biv here, though. Hey, we got lucky! 3 cheers for me ducking your rounds. Now I'm going to shoot you with my minigun. I wish I had another turn for power cells, because we don't have very many right now. Yeah, we only got 25 out. That should be enough to where we can still use the Skyshine again, and everybody survived. Came closer to killing Abe than any other scuzzers in Bedlam. Maybe you morts have earned your guns, or my guns at your side. I mean, you've earned your guns too, obviously, by shooting fools. It is what it is. I ain't gonna second guess you over here and what you done did. Let's see. Well, I mean, we've got enough power cells. Everything's basically lit up to the extent that we need it to. For 10 power cells, we can get that a little bit closer, but I'm going to wait until we get a big grip of power cells from one of the random fights. I think we should be able to coast the rest of this out on Skyshine, I think. So if we can keep ourselves pretty well armed, I think the Skyshine should allow us to win most of the fights that come up in the future. We're all out of locations to search, so we are back on the road again. As the dozer travels along the road, it crosses some kind of mechanical plating and is suddenly held fast. It appears as though some kind of rogue AI mag field has been placed. The crew disembarks the dozer to see if they can find a way to deactivate it. Ambush! While the crew inspects the plating for vulnerabilities or a power source, a number of rogue AI units teleport into view around them. Attention meat forms, you have been scanned. Your intelligence grade has determined your presence is obsolete. Commencing extinction protocols. 10Q for using the evaluation platform. Okay. What that means is that we don't want to bring snipers if we can help it. We kind of want to minimize the amount of snipers on the field since we're fighting with rogue AIs. Instead, what we do want to bring is anybody that can lay down DACA at close range. So trenchers really are kind of the guys we wanted to bring along. Maybe swap you out. And then I don't know how much HP these things are going to have, though. It might be worth it to bring one sniper along just in case. But the rogue AIs can teleport. It's kind of overpowered. But I think if they teleport, that should be the only thing they're allowed to do during that turn. Because they do it a lot, and it is terrifying. So the goal for right now, I don't think that I can Skyshine these guys. God, what a horrible waste. Let me check and see if you can Skyshine AIs first. I don't think that you can, but I'd like to find out before I do it because a Skyshine would definitely be... It would be welcome here. I'll be right back. Well, that's a concerning predicament we find ourselves in. Now, common sense would dictate that it will not work on them. Common sense would dictate. However, as you all know, I tend to lack that particular sundry. So, I figure we'll ride this out, and worst case scenario is we'll pop it on them if we end up in a situation where we have to use it. Why would they teleport over there? What an odd decision.
Power.
I'm gonna try and get Abe into a position where he can kill something next turn.
Crude.
And if it allows me to take part in whatever it is that he has over there. We got a miss on that side. There's the kill that we needed to dispel the blitz. If I can get myself some front side, or I guess if I can get some... let's get after... Oh, I don't know. Shit, tough call. Real tough call. Since he can't kill anything this turn anyways, I don't think I'm going to worry about it. Let's just move other people forward. I think there might be a limit to how far they can actually teleport. Man, he got the shots on him, don't he? He got the mocks. Okay. If I can get to right there, that puts them in a real shitty situation. Damn, look at you over here. Call you Wrecking Ball. How come you can't hit them right there? Oh, your range is too large? Well... Huh. Kind of an interesting situation to be in. Got a trencher and a trencher. Kind of depends how I want to do this. That's weird how everybody is perfectly outside my range right now. That's kind of hilarious. I almost want to laugh about it, but then I also sort of want to cry. We're going to take the hit from the trencher no matter what, but if we play it right, the trencher will put us over here, which means that we'll be able to kill somebody else off. I'm going to get rid of this chief. That looks pretty good. It's acceptable. I mean, I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. Either they're going to try and box him in. But I think that now might be the time to play our hand here. Weird decision on the part of the AI right there. Can you get any of them from that point? I mean, at the minimum, I would love it if you could get the sniper. That would be absolutely fabtabulous. I don't really want you to leave cover to do it, though. That's what makes me nervous. Although Citizen Snipey over here might get a little bit aggressive. Yeah, let's do it. Let's minimize damage here. The sniper has the ability to really sort of frag us if he wants to. The AI seem to be a bit confused about the way they want to play their turn. I had my suspicions that this was going to happen with Abe. I wish I had the translocator, the thing that allows him to get out of combat so I could teleport him back over to our side. And then we'd be super good to go. I'm going to grab the supplies I need anyways. I mean, we've already got Biv, right? Don't we still have Biv? He's just healing at the moment. So, I can sacrifice him to make this fight work. I mean, we could try the equalizer, but that's a lot of fusion cells to waste. And so it makes me feel nervous about it. They got him boxed in pretty good, though. Alright, well. I suppose that's that for Abe. He wasn't leveled anyways, so it's not too huge of a concern for me. On this side, go ahead and handle that guy real quick. My estimation is they're going to spend a lot of time occupying the same square as my character for some reason. Oh, good. We got that bug again where they move into the same spot. Oh, never mind. She can move out. Okay. It's not going to be super satisfactory, but we can make it work. Ah, he's right inside the sniper's blind spot, too, which is problematic. Let's go ahead and deal what damage we can. I was going to say, and then I got to kind of hope that that doesn't happen right there. Go ahead and handle the trencher real fast. I mean, he's still probably going to beeline straight for Jazarium. Yeah, there goes our sniper. Unfortunately, with the only 2 moves a turn, it becomes a little bit rough. Like, because they can just walk past characters and there's no comeuppance for that. Not worth it. This fight was a giant waste of time. Yeah, their teleport should definitely use up both of their moves, because that's bullshit right there. And then I'm going to do my best to get him out of range, because this is essentially a game-ending thing for us if he doesn't run. There we go. Get up out of there. And give him some loving. There it is. Okay, and so now all we really have to worry about is a blitz coming from this little guy over here. All things considered, I don't actually think we need to worry about that either, but... Hey, did that put him inside his firing range? It did. Ping pong. That's what you get. It was a pretty good one for supplies, but a pretty bad one for my guys surviving. But then again, the AI units, their teleportation is ridiculously bullshit, so... That's one of the major abilities that I dislike in the game, is that they just get to teleport. I think it should use their whole turn if they teleport, because they can go across the entire map if they want to. It's super hardcore. It's weird that we got that when we're in Marauder territory. I am a little bit interested in why that happened as well. We got enough right here to where we can do another 10 power cells. We are fully upgraded on that side, which means that for the upcoming battles, we should be able to spam pretty heavily on the Skyshine Distillery to make this all work. Couple of casualties there, though, that I wasn't super happy about. I mean, we have another sniper, so that's one of the reasons why we have backups. So, no use crying over spilt milk too hard. He'll be back in 10 days, so we'll take him out real quick. Biv will be back in 4 days. So what we really need to hope and pray for right now is that we just don't get caught in a shitty combat. And we have to hope that Scragger and Tarusa can keep it taken care of if we do. I'm going to put in another Deadeye and maybe hope I can level her up to replace the one we just lost. And then we'll go check some of these points of interest since we're in Marauder territory. The Skyshine Distillery should be pretty solid. While traveling through the rocky terrain, the crew exits a canyon into a clearing. In the middle is a stone pedestal. A large ring constructed of an unknown material stands atop it. Around the base of the pedestal are the remains of several explorers. The crew investigates the skeletons and finds little of value except a hand-scrawled map. In the middle is a circle marked with the words Chrono Channel. Another skeleton clutches a map of what looks like indecipherable coordinates. As the crew steps onto the stone pedestal, a massive ring suddenly moves with a groan and begins spinning in place. When the whirling ring reaches full velocity, a stable energy vortex appears in its center. Well, that's better than an unstable energy vortex. They run around just destroy everything in their lives. They can't keep relationships. They're always getting into fights and arguments. Let's step in. The crew steps into the vortex. They immediately experience flashes of otherworldly luminescence combined with the sensation of rushing through space at unimaginable speed. They step through the other side into some dark and unrecognizable place. It appears to be the interior of a cave. The portal closes behind them, leaving them stranded in this strange place. Looking around, they find a ragged tarp covering something. It reveals a large cache of power cells. Someone must have been using the portal as a shortcut to store their private stash of valuable resources. They eventually find their way through a confusing cave network to the surface and return to the dozer with the supplies. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, 40 more right there. That's a pretty good pull. That's a pretty good pull. Oh, well, we're in Rogue AI territory then. Let me try and get out of here before anything else goes wrong. On both sides of the road are several crucified bodies. They've been partially dismantled, and the frayed cables hanging from the metallic sockets indicate they were cyborgs. This is made even more obvious by the primitive painted signs and the words Borgs die hanging from several of their necks. Seems the ongoing feud between marauders and cyborgs is unhealthy as ever. I just want to get into Raider territory, so I ain't gotta worry about this shit anymore. As the dozer travels through a narrow canyon, it comes under siege from a bombardment of marauder firebombs. It's a defensive mission. Hooray! So let's go ahead and defend ourselves here. We should have Biv back into the fray, which is fantastic. Let's go ahead and take him instead of one of our remedial gunslingers over here. Wish we could keep a couple more of our elites in style, but unfortunately, you gotta sacrifice them every now and again for the sheer amount of damage they can do, and Abe seemed like putting him in that situation was gonna save. We're gonna lose people either way. It's rogue AI. They can teleport on top of you. You're gonna lose people because they can teleport then attack on the same turn, which is super gnarly. Anyways, I'll see you in the next episode. We'll fend off this attack there. Hi-do, everybody.